In this video, my first video, I will show you the 4 basic steps that I think are required to put together a nice face of makeup. Whether you are male presenting or female, this is for you. I'm gonna do all the steps. I don't miss anything. I like the whole meditative process of makeup from start to finish. Even if you've never worn makeup before, you might still find this entertaining. Let's go. Step number 1 is going to be skincare. Whatever you like. First I go in and I need to make my base as glowy and pretty as I can because my skin is rather dry. Whatever finish you leave on your face is going to heavily dictate the finish that your makeup is going to have at the end. If you use the wrong primer or prep to your skin, that $80 foundation is going to look like crap. So for me, I have dry skin. I like to take note of where I am every day before I put on makeup. It's looking okay. I'm not there yet. This is from Rituel to Fille. This is called Thorn oil. It looks like blood. There's another creator called Teresa is Dead. She's so funny and she always talks about this stuff. It does have kind of a red base to it, but you don't notice it when makeup goes on. So I want someone out there to guess how old I am. Just guess down below how old I am, and I'm not gonna say until the next video. Step number 2, it's gonna get fun. Base products. For me, color corrector comes first. Dark under eyes, I'm perfectly fine with. They don't bother me whatsoever, but I wanna show everybody how I do cover them when I decide to. So I just started using this Kosas color corrector. This is for light medium skin. Right there, there. Might seem like a lot, and it kind of is. I'm just gonna leave these dots of color corrector just sitting where they are and give them more time to dry down a little bit. The more they're able to dry down, the more coverage you're gonna get. This is Rare Beauty Brow Gel. While we're here, I'm just gonna throw this on. You don't need to do this. If you have thick brows, just brush through them and, keep them cleaned up. Just kind of brush them slightly up and over. Any bald spots, I'll go back in and add a little pencil. But don't overfill your brows ever. It's better to just not pick up a pencil and put them in your brows than it is to look like Eddie Munster, which I have done many a time. I used to get called Eddie Munster when I lived in Brooklyn. And I was young and I would just wear this trench coat everywhere and I would get harassed every day. And they would call me Eddie Munster. I think it was my eyebrows. This brow gel, by the way, let me just say, to me, I don't think it's a brow gel at all. I think it's pomade. I think it's literally just a pomade that costs way too much money. Like hair product. Can you imagine if hair gel was $20 and it came in a bottle this big? We want to maintain maximum coverage until we get this to dry down. Now, a lot of people, including you, might not need color corrector at all. Like usually a full coverage concealer is enough. For me, even with a full coverage concealer, I can still see through it. Hot little hands, go in, tap, tap, tap with your finger until it looks really smooth. We're getting into the weeds here, but let me just show you. When you go in to your eye, you can use a pointy Q-tip to remove any excess product that's building up in those wrinkles or creases. Just follow those wrinkles around with a little pointy Q-tip, and that'll take out the cakiness. I'm gonna show you my favorite base product of all time. That would be the Lisa Eldridge Skin Tint. It is amazing, and it's got blurry qualities to it. It has coverage. It stays all day long. It's the best. I have it in 2 shades, 3 and 6. Now we just, look at that. Look at that. Look at that finish. Just with our hands, and we just slide over it. It's so smooth and slick. And you think that it's just gonna be wet and not dry down, but you're wrong. It dries down. Look at that. Now don't run it into the color corrector. But look at that. And by the way, this stuff does go beautifully under your eyes. If you have nothing under there, you just want to put this, it barely creases at all. It's so smooth. And if you bounce it with a sponge, you get a nice smooth surface. You can buy a bag of these for like $7 on Amazon that are really good, like the Pawpaw sponges. That's what these are. So good. The Beauty Blender ones, you're just wasting your money. Sorry, that's the one makeup product that I will tell anyone. You're wasting your money on a beauty blender. Okay, to be fair with concealer, I thought it would go in with Kosas. Again, this is in their concealer formula. This is a light neutral shade. I think it works pretty well for me. We're gonna lay it down like that. I get a little redness around my nose, so I'll put it there. I'm gonna use this concealer brush from Rephr. This is new, this is so good. Now, when we're doing concealer, we just wanna pat where it is. We don't wanna see that concealer move. We wanna see it stay in place. If you swipe around, you're gonna disturb that color corrector and it's gonna turn your concealer orange. But that won't happen if you just take your time. Yeah. So this is basically step 2 complete. We're gonna add some powder under the eyes. All right, and then just right here in the center of your forehead, this is where you tend to get a little oily. This is Dalba First Spray. It's just a glowy spray. It's not even a makeup spray, but it just adds a little freshness. Step number 3 would be color and highlight. This is Too Faced Chocolate Mousse Sculpting Stick. So this, I mean, look at it compared to my skin. This works as a contour and a bronzer, kind of all in one. You'll see. So go around the perimeter. I'm applying straight to my skin. I think it looks great like this. Some of them I wouldn't do that. This one, yeah. There we go. And you can, and this it doesn't dry down weird, so don't worry about it. Anything weird happening like that. Maybe there, and then, this is the Rephr foundation brush they put out. Such a good brush. It's like my favorite brush now. And I'm gonna go blend this all out. I'm going in with a lighter layer on top because I'm looking at it from further away and I want people from there to see it. This stuff is close to the easiest bronzing stick I've ever used. Dang, this is a good product. This is a good one. It's 35 bucks, I think. But it's super emollient and it's a good color and there's a lot of product as far as I can tell. We've gone around the perimeter, it looks nice. All this white, we're gonna hit that with some bronzer and stuff on the neck at the end. I'm not gonna do it right this second. With bronzing complete, let's move on to blush. I like this cutie from Rare Beauty. I'm not a big Rare Beauty fan, but these are really good. These little melting blushes, this is in Nearly Neutral. I'm looking at it from like 4 feet away, and I'm looking at it up close, just to make sure. I actually lay some product down that you can see, but also that it's wearable. Now this cream, it sits really nicely on top of that bronzer we just did. So when I'm doing blush, I'm applying it high, but that's all up to you. I've seen some people like Robert Welch do his blush down here, like in kind of a draping style, and that's beautiful on him. I'm just thinking what I like to keep the saturation high, like near where I put highlight, keep the saturation up here, but I let it float all the way up into here, and I let it float all the way around here. So, you see what I mean? Nice. Now, if you have the time between every layer of makeup, between the bronzer and the blush and all that stuff, you can take a nice, moisturizing spray of some kind take the butt end of the sponge and just get that wet. And then just melt everything together. I'm gonna get into a new product. This is from Dior. This is the new highlighter. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh. Isn't that gorgeous? Now look at the embossing. I've used it some. So you take it, you brush through it like that. Oh, it's like almost like wet. It's like a wet look, but it's not over the top. Oh, okay, so here's none, and then here's highlight. Ooh. I like to take it a little bit above the arch of the brow, like that. I take it a little bit across the nose and kind of a lot of it around the chin, and then I do one extra layer up here and one more layer up here. Oh, I have another Dior highlighter coming. I ordered the quad. Everyone told me just to get the quad. Take your sponge, slightly bounce over that. You can take a good bronzer, powder bronzer. This is from Mario. Just barely warm up your neck. I don't put liquid foundation on my neck unless I'm completely forced to. Sometimes I'll put powder foundation on my neck just to cover up like veins and old people's skin. And then I'll take a little bit at the end, just right there. A little bit of blush behind the ears can also help marry this to this. Just so you know, before we're completely done, I'm gonna fill in a couple of spots. I'm not doing much. Just stop before you hit Eddie Munster status. And find a color that matches your actual brows. People usually get it like too warm usually. Just for fun. Now don't tell anybody we're doing this. Grab some eyeshadow. This is the Makeup by Mario Neutrals. Grab a soft brown and put it on your lid. Just your lid. I mean, just enough to cover up the... I'm trying to do this eyeshadow literally in 30 seconds. If you have deep set hooded eyes like mine, you can get away with so many easy eye looks. Dip into the lightest, the bone shade with that same brush. Kind of cut your crease a little with it. Just go to the inner part of the lid with that color. It'll just kind of open your eye a little bit. I'm not even going to the brow bone. I don't care about any of that. I'm not priming my lids, nothing, just that. Then, you know what guys? I'm gonna call some bullshit when I see it. I bought these Rephr brushes now for a few months. This is the third brush to come apart. There, I got it back together. These pencil brushes are amazing, but why don't they just make them one solid piece of metal all the way across so they don't fall apart? Or like these Real Techniques ones, they never fall apart because of the way they're built. So you get that bone shade, that light shade, and just highlight your inner corner. And because it's a matte inner corner highlight, it's not gonna be blingy or glam or anything. It'll just help open your eyes, especially if you have deep set ones like me. Take your pinky when you've done that and just blend in. There we go. That's nice. Beautiful. So this is a little bit of Glossier mascara. This is in brown. Now I just want you to, if you want to, you don't have to, this is more of a glam technique. You don't have to do this. I'm just trying to give you a solid routine here where you get to do all the steps. And a brown mascara like this is gonna be so subtle Like, even if you go pretty heavy with it, it's still gonna be subtle. Look, we've made it to the end. We look gorgeous. I'm gonna grab this Huda Beauty one. Then, this from Fenty, this setting spray, it really locks it in. It's sticky too. You might really like it. Okay. It smells pretty good. Now while that's drying, I'm just gonna relax. Look around. Enjoy the view. One last thought before I leave. Finish off all your makeup looks with a smell, you know? A really good one. This is Vanilla Smoke from Fleur. If you mix this smell with their other one called Missing Person, it's like a skin musk, warm sheer smell. Together, it makes you smell like a really rich, classy person that needs to quit smoking. It's quite beautiful. If this video was helpful or entertaining to you, I highly suggest you watch another one. Thank you.